Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin Dubuc,
David Wynn,
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in every market. And today, guys and gals, we've got a real treat for you. You hear us talk about this guy all the time. He's our mentor in the industry and our mentor in our family growth and support, right? Carl White, the great Carl White of the Mortgage Marketing Animals, one of the leaders in our industry. Carl does some of the most amazing things with his coaching programs. He's got his own business, the top real estate podcast in the United States today. And we've got him here on our show. Welcome to the stage, folks. Carl White, how are you, brother?
Man, it's it's good to see you guys. And frankly, I thought you were the men. I've learned so much from you guys. I mean, you guys really have it going on. You're all kidding aside. You really got a good thing going here. But what I thought we'd talk about today is I sent out this survey about 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that, maybe a month ago. And the survey question was, what did you learn in 2023? And what are you going to do different in 2024 based upon what you learned?
Yeah.
And it was got some interesting stuff back. So I thought we could just kind of chat about that here for next 20, 25 minutes, something like that. Hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever.
Let's do all day. Let's go.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's a great topic, Carl. And, David and I, what didn't we learn in 2023? One thing that you say often, Carl, and I think it's really appropriate for this topic is we found out in 2023 and latter part of 2022, we were swimming naked, and all of our deficiencies were starting to show up, right? The things that maybe we thought we were great at, we realized rather quickly, we need a new strategy, right? We've got to figure out a new game plan. So 2023 was a great learning experience for us, and
it was humbling.
Yeah,
it was a year of humbleness. That's what it really was.
It was 100%. 100%. I think we learned what we had in our business, what we didn't have in our business, and we really learned how to shape and mold our business, for the future years to come. And a lot of that, Carl, we contribute to you and the program that you provide because we've really leaned on you, right? We've leaned into you for support with how to transition our team to becoming the machine that it is today.
Yeah, well, it's been an honor. Well, let's kind of jump into this thing a little bit. So this is going to be in no particular order, but so we sent this this poll out on what did you learn in 2023 and what are you going to do differently because of that in 2024. And the first one that came, and again, this is no particular order, but one of the ones that came back, so we ended up with about, and we're probably not going to cover all of them today, but we came up with there was probably a grand total of, and again, this is like 30,000 people, but we probably saw the same 8 or 9, 3,000 times each,
right?
Kind of thing. It was the same 8 or 9 answers that came back over and over and over and over. A couple outliers here and there, but primarily 8 or 9 things.
Was exposed multiple times over.
Yeah. So one of them that came back, which I thought was very interesting, was a good amount of them said, what I learned in 2023 that I wish I'd have known before is that I don't have to know everything.
Yeah.
I don't have to know everything. In the context, because some people put like little comments to kind of clarify it. And what this one meant was, like, so often before we go out and market, or before we pick up the phone and make those calls, or before we go teach that class, man, what if they ask me this, and what if they ask me that, and what if they ask me this, and what if they ask me that, and what if there's a three-legged man shows up and he asks a question that, how do I tie my shoe? Like, all this stuff goes through our heads, like we have to know every answer to every question. And oftentimes that holds us back.
It does.
That holds us back, that imposter syndrome. I don't know everything. I'm not a PhD in this. So I can't go out and proactively go out and get new business because I'm afraid they might ask me something and I'm not worthy of being in front of these people because I don't know everything. And God knows that's held me back in the past. And so I think the point being made here is you know enough.
Yeah.
Right? You know enough. And it's okay if you don't know everything. I remember when I first got started, as I guess with everybody, right? I didn't know anything. And when I say nothing, I mean literally nothing, right? We all started off
Carl, I
at
didn't
the
know
beginning.
mortgage meant loan on your home. That's how
Yeah.
little I knew.
Dude,
I'm getting in the mortgage business. What does that mean again?
I thought when loan officers were loaning out money, this is the truth.
Yeah.
I thought when loan officers loaned out money that they had a bunch of money somehow or another, and they were loaning out their money.
Right.
And when I found out, no, it's we find a place that has money, and then we find people are looking for money, and we simply put the two together. I thought, what a great business model. That's a business. I wish I'd have thought of this. That's a great plan. So I wish I would have known that I don't have to know everything.
Yeah.
And it's okay for me to tell a real estate agent. It's okay for me to tell a consumer. It's okay for me to tell a title company, a financial planner, a divorce attorney.
Right.
Hey, you know what? I'm not real sure about that. Let me get back with you this afternoon. Or let me have Diane in the office give you a call and she can fill you in on that piece, or insert in things. So I think that's a big one, is not to let the lack of knowledge to hold us back from taking action, because nobody knows everything. Somebody always knows more than you.
That's right.
And somebody always knows less than you. And it just doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And so I thought, we're always looking for those things. What are those things holding us back? And if we could just clip the rope, that's holding us back,
that's right.
We move forward then. So I really like that one.
I think that's a great piece of wisdom. I do. I love that.
I tell you another one that came up that I really liked. I learned in 2023 that not everybody is going to do business with me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So as it turns out, for all of us, it's actually a small fraction. For most of us, I know here, me in my market, it's an incredibly small fraction, right? It's a huge market, and the team does well, but percentage wise, as you look at the market, I mean it's like nobody, like the biggest player in town is probably at 2%, right? So not everybody's going to do business with me, and it's okay. And just because somebody doesn't do business with me doesn't mean that they don't like me, or that they think I suck, or I'm a screw up, or all those conversations we have in our head.
Yeah.
No, it just means that they decided on somebody else. That's like I just bought a car for my daughter not too long ago. What was it? Toyota. Now.
Hey guys, it's Devin
and David.
We're your real estate success partners. Hey, if you're enjoying these podcasts and want us to keep bringing back this content, we truly appreciate you following us. But if you could go below and subscribe or make some comments, we'd truly appreciate it. And we'll keep bringing back great content in 2024.
I think Honda makes a fantastic product. I just didn't buy it this time.
That's right.
I very likely might the next time, right? I just didn't this time.
Yep.
And so I think sometimes when somebody doesn't refer to us, or somebody does business with somebody else instead of us, we think, well, they never liked me. I suck. I wasn't worthy. They found somebody better, and I'm embarrassed to ever call that person up again, which is just garbage in our head, right? None of that's true. And I think it's, I see I'll be in a Facebook group and I'll see somebody say, well, I had this realtor tell me no today. And I think to myself, my God, dude, I had a realtor tell me no this hour.
That's right.
So, I mean,
I had a lot of realtors tell me no this hour. You know?
And I said, man, if that's the first time you've ever heard that, that if that's the first time you ever heard that, man, that's
you're not making enough offers.
You're not making
enough offers. Well, we talk about that all the time here at the branch, Carl. And David, he's living proof of that. There's a lot of the times where our loan officers will speak up and say, it 8 calls after I met with this agent for the first time, and I thought they were ghosting me. I was leaving voicemails and they were not answering. They weren't following up. And I genuinely thought they didn't like me. And I thought, man, wow, I thought that appointment went really well. Right. But then out of the blue, one day, right, the phone call rings the other direction. And it's that agent that ghosted them 8 weeks in a row, and they thought just must have hated them. And Dave, isn't that where you start to see a lot of your business coming in?
Yeah, 2023 was a rough year for a lot of people. There were some people that we consider qualified agents that became unqualified. And what's weird now is I'm having some of those agents a year later now giving me my first deal because of the consistency of the text messages. I may not call them anymore, but they're still getting automation of text or emails or whatever.
Well, free gifts, right?
Yeah.
We give them gifts every week. We send out, the agent click and learn where we're giving them the gift of knowledge, right? We talk to them about, the important things that are coming up in the market. We deliver the opportunity for them to be on the podcast and, ultimately sell their story and give their message out there. And I think that's what it is, the consistency, David, that you bring to the table with your follow-up, whether that isn't a phone call, maybe it is just a text message, but you're also throwing all those gifts out there, right? You're layering gifts every single week and saying, hey, here's some cool things that you might be able to take into your business to create success. And then out of the blue, right?
Yeah.
Because they ghosted you for a year, you get a lead.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how that works. Another one that came up quite a bit was, and so I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you one at a time here, but I'm going to give you two that kind of tie into each other. And this one was, I wish I'd have known there's enough out there. I wish I'd have known there's enough out there.
Yeah.
And you might go, well, enough what? Yes. Right. There's enough referral partners. Yeah. There's enough divorce attorneys. There's enough financial planners. There's enough local business owners. There's enough people in your current past database. There's enough sphere of influence with friends and family. There's enough people buying houses in your area that you can get in front of. There's enough.
Yeah.
And and the magic is how do we get in front of those people to make our offer?
Yeah.
Right. Which is another one, by the way. Another answer that came up was, I wish I'd have known the power of the offer. I wish I'd have known the power of the offer. Boy, that's a good one. Because what that one says, which kind of falls into this enough, that all we simply have to do is make enough offers to the right people.
That's right.
That's all this stuff is.
Yeah.
And knowing that not everybody's going to work with me. These start tying in together. Knowing that enough people will work with me, and enough most people will tell me no. Some people will tell me yes.
Yeah.
And as long as it's a big enough pool that I'm asking, that even if most say no, the percentage that says yes is enough. And if I want to close more loans, I simply make that pool bigger.
That's right.
I simply ask more people. And I think the mistake most loan officers make is they rely on people. Well, they know what I do.
Yeah.
It was my cousin, for God's sake, didn't use me. They know what I do. But there's that thing of, but dude, you didn't ask.
Yeah.
Right. You didn't ask them for the business. So there's, I think, so we got to know that there's enough out there. And we simply have to let people know that we want them to do business with us. We can't just rely on them knowing what I do.
That's right.
That we actually have to ask for their business. I was teaching a class here in Tampa to a group of mortgage professionals yesterday, and I told them something that I tell you. You guys have probably heard me say 100 times, but only because it's always true.
Right.
And that if you literally want to double your business, and whether that's going from 2 to 4 or 4 to 8 or 8 to 16 or whatever that number is,
right,
that it's just simply just by doing one thing that I would guarantee, with no little asterisks, guarantee you would double your business in the next, say, 4 months max, would be to simply finish every single conversation with a call to action. Finish every single conversation. Hey, Dave, man, it was great talking to you guys here today. I just want to know if I could count on you next time you get that buyer lead, or next time you have a friend, family, coworker looking to buy, sell, refinance. Just want to know, can I count on you to refer them my way, Dave? It's an honor to talk to you and have you as a friend. And I found cool people tend to hang out with cool people. Brother, I'd love to get connected with your friends and family that are looking to buy a house or maybe refinance. Can I count on you for that, brother? And if we finish every single conversation. Now, I'm not talking about necessarily I'm at the church or not necessarily at the ball field, but maybe, right? Maybe, yeah. But for sure, on my Monday through Friday, my 9 to 5, every time I talk to an agent, every time I talk to a co-borrower, every time I talk to a title company, every time I talk to an appraiser, to give a call to action to those people. We do that every single time.
That's right.
And I'm not talking about a 3-minute monologue. I'm talking about a 15-second little message that you know off the top of your head, and you can do it forwards and backwards. And it's literally, when I say 15 seconds, I probably mean 10.
That's right.
10 seconds. And to add that in at the end of every single conversation, 100% of people would double their business within 4 months, absolutely, for sure. So, which was one of the things I wish I'd have known how powerful my call to action.
Just ask, right? The ask.
Yeah. So why do you think it is, Devin? Why do you think it is that people think it's weird or rude or being a jerk by letting them know that we can help them? Like, why is that even? Why does that even enter our head? Where does that come from, do you think?
I think you're right in the money. It's in the head, right? It's what's going on between the ears. And,
but how did we start thinking that to begin with? Because, when somebody asked me, dude, I just had a guy finish cleaning my gutters.
Yeah.
Right? Because here in Florida, we just hit fall. So the leaves started falling about 3 days ago. And my gutters got full, right?
Right.
So the guy, he cleaned out my gutters. And as he was leaving, he said, "Hey, man, can I leave you a couple cards? If you have any friends that are looking for their gutters to clean, man, I'd love to help your friends too." And it's like, Dude, cool. In fact, it made me feel special with him asking me, because what I heard him say, which is not what he was saying, "Carl, you're a very influential person. And boy, I bet you could throw a lot of business my way. And I honor you for being an influential person. Yeah. Hey, man, I'd love it if you'd pass out my card to your." Now, that's not what he said, but that's what my head heard him say. And I thought, well, this is kind of cool. The dude wants, my referrals, and yes, I could give them to him,
I think, Carl, and maybe this is even true for me, it goes back to, kind of the thought process of what a salesman means, right? And, sometimes people in their minds, even salespeople, right? Because that's who we are. We picture that I hate to use the term sleazy, but that sleazy used car salesman, right? That's, I'm Disco Bob and I'm here to sell you a new automobile.
Which, by the way,
right?
So by the way, I got a question for you. Real question. By the way, so I bought a handful of used cars, right?
Yeah.
I've never met that guy yet. Like every single time I go to buy a used car, dude, it's like the nicest guy or the nicest lady ever.
Yeah.
So somehow, I don't know if this was a thing that Hollywood made up.
Yeah, it's a Hollywood media, right?
I don't know where it came from. So
come on down here to the Root Barn, and
yeah. Hey, I heard another.
That's it.
I'll tell you another one that was on the list. I wish I'd have known, and I'm going to paraphrase this one a little bit. I wish I'd have known in 2023 that I can catch enough fish in my own backyard.
Yep.
And what that means, and it's not calling anybody a fish, right? This was not meant by that.
Yep.
But that there's enough business in my own backyard that maybe I don't need to be in 49 states. Maybe I don't need to be focusing my market on 23 states. Maybe, just maybe, and I'm just talking about in my case, maybe, just maybe, there's enough loans in the state of Florida that Carl can have a good living.
Right.
Maybe, just maybe, my dear friends that live in New Hampshire, there's enough mortgages in the state of New Hampshire that you can live a good life as a loan officer. Now, I'm not saying there's never a time to expand, and I think expanding is fine, but it might not be like, let's make sure we got a good footprint right in our own backyard before we try to expand. probably the only, and I'd put a little asterisk on this one, because I remember when I read this one and saw all the responses of it, I thought, well, there are cases. They're not frequent, but they're occasional. For instance, our dear friend Jen Connolly, I use her as an example often.
Yeah.
So Jen lives in a very rural area of Ohio where I think it's 4 counties is her primary market. In those 4 counties, there's only 189 real estate agents in those 4 counties. Now, there's over 200 real estate agents that live in my subdivision.
That's right.
Much less my county, right? There's 83 of them that go to my church, right? So on these rare occasions where they live in very rural areas, or and I know your podcast has a viewership or listenership throughout the nation, or if I'm in, say, Minnesota in the wintertime, not as many people buy houses, in Minnesota in the wintertime as they do in Minnesota in the summertime. So maybe reaching out to Texas or Alabama or Florida or Georgia or insert in, Arizona,
Southern state,
California, where there's not 10 feet of snow. But for the other 95% of us, that let's focus right here in our own backyard and capture that first.
That's right.
Because I can tell you, while we can get referrals from out throughout the country, there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's probably a little easier, a little more effective. Not a lot easier, not a lot more effective, but somewhat, to do it right here in my own county where I know I can speak the language. And so for most of us, I think we spend too much time trying to capture faraway communities. And maybe sometimes we treat that as a little bit of creative avoidance. Like we're creating these things. Well, I need to go get licensed in Nebraska first, then I can start making my marketing.
We see both sides of that, because we do have Joe Bondio here in the branch, who's in a small town, my hometown of Salina, Kansas. And, his name is well known and he captures a good part of that Salina market, but he does need to branch out a little bit and get outside of that comfort zone. Now, it's not necessarily the state, though. It's just some of the larger communities, right? Because last time I looked in Kansas, Salina, maybe 60, 70,000 population, but Kansas City and Wichita, there's a lot more homes being sold in those marketplaces. So he does go out in those areas. But, I think you talk about a valid point with, David here. We're national and we do branch out. But at the same time, David's been well marketing recently, right? We've done a lot of swamp marketing. And, when we talk about well marketing, that's going deep with the people's attention that you do have. And, one of the things that David's been doing and actually finding a lot of tremendous success right now is getting very deep with the agents we have right here in the backyard. And now he's going out and he's doing lunch and learns and teaching classes and, building, bonded relationships with the agents in the local market and finding great success. In fact, I think you said earlier you had how many leads come in today?
What's it? No, I've had 20 in the last 3 days.
20 leads in the last 3 days.
9 yesterday from
20
8
leads
different agents.
From 8 different agents. A lot of those are right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth marketplace.
But Dave's got a little unfair advantage going on here. I always keep that in mind. When you look as good as him,
I know.
Well, that's going to happen. Doors get open, and they thought he was a Chippendales dancer. Come to find out, he's actually a loan officer.
He might have been, Carl, at one point in time.
I love it. I do want to address one thing about what really changed my business, Carl. It's the just ask. We're brand new into what I learned
marketing to retail, right?
Marketing to retail. I learned mortgages this past year. What they mean by that is I've been in the mortgage business for close to 5-6 years. But until this past year, we were lead-based organization. Now we're retail. So we learned everything this year. And one of the things on the Just Ask is this. I thought just by contacting the realtors on a weekly basis, I was communicating with them, but I wasn't, because I was just calling them. Hey, just checking in, see how you're doing. Do you need anything? Okay, great. Thank you. But that design conversation that you were talking about, the micro commitment. Hey, who do you have today that I get pre-qualified to make the best use of your time? No one? Okay. Hey, can I count on you for that next buy-side lead?
That's right.
Getting them to commit to that. And it's really what I learned from that is it's a design conversation, no difference than whenever I talk to my mother or when I talk to my sons. I love you. goodbye. It's the same I love you. So my conversation with everybody now is that is asking. It's just ask.
I remember when you had that epiphany because, and it really wasn't that long ago, Carl. We've been doing this for a long time, but it wasn't that long ago. It was right at the beginning of the year. I was in Gunter with my daughter at her horseback riding lessons, and he calls me when I'm in the stable and I've got all these beautiful horses there. And he said, Devin, I got it. I figured out where my missing piece was. I've been making the calls and I haven't been doing the ask. And I know we've talked about it. I just wasn't doing it. And immediately you've seen a substantial response in your leads in the intake of what you're getting just because of that one little piece that, like we said, most people are afraid to do for what reason we don't know. Maybe it's Disco Bob, the used car salesman, right? But at the end of the day, did the agents get mad when you asked them for the business?
No, and I think it's all it's all between our heads. So we say the same. I say the same thing every single time. Exact same thing every single week. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But my arrogance was, I think the agents remembers exactly what I said. Come on. You know what? I don't remember a conversation.
Wait a minute. Isn't that the same thing you told me back in June?
Yeah. They don't
2018.
Remember.
We had this same conversation.
It's
we're
my
not as important as we think we are.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're not that important.
We're not that important. And we think we're saying the same thing. And we think they remember every bit of our conversation. And it's just, once I learned that, that just ask is so powerful. Design conversation.
And for those of you who haven't watched it, Carl, you turned me onto this. I know where you got it from, and it was Steve Jobs, talking about being a young boy and reaching out to, the Hewlett Packard and saying, hey, I need these parts for my high school project. And he said, well, yeah, I'll get you the parts, right? And who's got the courage?
And that was the owner of Hewlett Packard, by the way.
Hewlett Packard, and ask. And he said, what I found and throughout my career is that all you got to do is ask. And most people, especially the good ones that are doing big things in their lives, they want to help.
I find it's interesting you say that. I find I get more yeses from higher producers than I do lower producers.
Yep.
And they just, I don't know, they just think different. Hey, just real quick, I want to finish off with two here if I can.
Of course, 100%.
So one more, which I really like this one, was I wish I'd have known to get more leads so I could be more selective.
Yeah.
And on this one, what I got out of it was the more leads we have coming in, or let me change that. The more referrals we have coming in, the more selective we can be, number one, of the source of the referrals and of the referrals themselves. That if I'm finding a source, maybe only 1 out of 20 is closing, as long as I got more sources, it's easier to not turn it off, but you know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
Don't be, maybe I don't need to answer the questions from that person Sunday morning at 6:00 in the morning when they call, right? That I can be a little bit more selective and work with a little bit more cool people. And then the last one, and I got this one a lot, was I wish I would have saved more money, in 2020. And so this went past 2023.
That's right.
And in 2023, what I learned was I wish I'd have saved more money in 2020 and 2021 to make it easier to survive these down markets. Because we are in a bit of a roller coaster industry. It goes up and it goes down. I mean, that's just the way it is. And saving that 25%, like whatever your check is, save 25% of that. I'm telling you, you do that for a handful of years, and you'll want to go back and kiss yourself on the lips for putting yourself in a great situation.
That's right.
That we find that those of us that saved our money, we weren't desperate in 2023, and we didn't have to act like we were desperate, and we didn't have to run our business desperation. Yeah. Doesn't mean that we want to that we didn't feel an urgent need to get our numbers back up right to the 2020 and 2021 levels, but it wasn't. It was urgent, not desperate. And those are two entirely different things. So,
well, that's a big part of what you coach in the Freedom Club. I think it all ties back to, hey, these are the things we need to do. But at the end of the day, don't forget the most important part. Take care of your future self. right?
Yeah.
Take care of your future family. The people that rely on you, they need to know that you're setting them up for success. And by putting that money away, when you're having those big years, you're going to set yourself for a life of successes. And I think you've said this before, and I love it, Carl, is, when we look back at our history in this mortgage industry and we go, man, if we try to measure it all by the results we got in 23, that's not the way to look at this. I've been doing this for 2 decades. And if I look at my results, just on an income standpoint, from when I started this industry, back in 2002 to where I am today, there's been a whole lot more highlight years than down years. And the overall financial gains that I've had as being a part of this industry are absolutely astronomical. And you talk about this often. We have the potential to earn the kind of money that high paid athletes, doctors, lawyers, in some cases we make more than they do. And, if we just learn how to save that money the right way and follow the right processes, this industry brings you a lifetime of successes and can help you create a legacy that'll live on beyond you.
Dude. So we literally can make NFL money.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Yeah.
Except it's not just for a year or two.
That's right.
And I don't have 340-pound linebackers trying to break my kneecaps.
Yeah. You want to hear a fun fact, Carl? 10 doors that way, Dak Prescott. 10 doors that way. It's temporary. He's having his house renovated, but he's right here in our subdivision. You talk about having the ability to live the way that an NFL football player does. I've been able to do that because of this industry, right? So at the end of the day,
no, brother, you've been able. Wait. Let me clarify that. You've been able to do that by the actions that you take.
Yeah,
that's why you can do that, my man.
Thank you.
So,
thank you for that reminder, Carl.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff, man. Good stuff,
Great
man.
stuff. Great stuff.
It's been fun.
I know. Well, we love having you here, Carl, and we'd keep you here all day, but we can't because you're a busy man and you've got places to be. But what did we not ask you today, sir, that we should have asked you?
Ask me about my 3 non-negotiable activities.
Ooh. That's powerful. What are your 3 non-negotiable activities?
Brothers, there's 3 things that we never, ever, ever stop doing, ever. And maybe there's more, but this is my 3. Number 1, always be selling. Never, never, never stop selling, which means always ask for the business.
That's right.
Always ask for the business. Every single phone call, end it with an ask. Number 2, always be looking for talent. I didn't say you're always hiring, but always be looking for talent. Always be looking for talent. You never know who's going to come across your doorstep. And number 3, always look for opportunities. Always look for other opportunities. Look, I'm loyal to where I work at, but you know what? Hey, things happen, right? And things happen to good companies and to good people. Companies get sold. Somebody gets sick.
Yeah.
Like things happen, right? So always look for good opportunities and just look to see what's around. And the reason I think that's so important is I'll look around sometimes to see what somebody like what you guys are doing over there, and I go, man, these guys are some really, really, really cool stuff. I'll run it past my owner to see, that my company to see, hey, the Dubuc team is doing some really, really, really cool stuff. This one thing they're doing that we're not doing, can we kind of implement it over here, right? And so I learned by reaching out to other people.
Yeah.
And so, brother, I tell you, I have learned so much from you 2 guys. And let me tell you, this is an unsolicited thing. I got no skin in the game. I don't get a piece of the pie or anything. Do yourself a favor. Reach out to these 2 guys. They're on. Look, I go around the country seeing all the top teams. And you guys got something really, really, really special going on. So if you're listening today, reach out to these guys and look to see what they're doing that you can implement it back in your own shop. So reach out to these 2 cats. They're very giving spirits. You'll serve yourself well by doing that. So you're always selling, you're always looking for talent, and you're always looking for opportunities. Don't ever, ever, ever stop doing those 3 things. So honor to be here, guys.
Honor to have you here. I mean, such great wisdom, right, Dave? I mean, where else are we going to hear this stuff?
And good looking. And good looking.
Devastatingly handsome. Carl White. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, I wore your shower curtain to our podcast.
That. so for those, I know probably most people are listening and not watching. And when you look like the 3 of us, who could blame them, right? But you literally, you took a picture So, to my knowledge, you're the only man that's taken a picture in my bathroom, right?
Hold on.
To my knowledge.
That doesn't sound very good, Carl.
To my knowledge. Plus, come to find out, your shirt and literally my shower curtain literally looked like they were made from the same design.
They do.
The same cut. Yeah, I was going to say the same material. My shower is that plastic and stuff, and you're not wearing a plastic shirt. But yeah, it was the same color pattern on your shirt that's on that shower curtain.
It's wild.
So all I can say about that, I got one classy shower curtain. That's all I can say. So,
well, let me tell you something, Carl. It was pretty crazy because I met you in Nashville wearing this shirt. And then the first time I come out and set foot in the bathroom, I thought, well, what a coincidence. My shirt was made from his shower curtain.
I saw that shirt and I went, honey, I need to have this shirt in my bathroom. And so that's what she did. She made a shower curtain. So.
You tracked it down. I love it.
Good to see you guys.
Great to have you here today, Carl. Thank you so much for everything that you've poured into us and our business and your mentorship and your knowledge. You've changed me as a human being. I think, David, you could say the same thing.
Absolutely.
You know, we're just blessed to have you here today, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, Carl White, thank you for being on the show today. Guys, we're your real estate success partners. I'm Devin Dubuc.
I'm David Wynn.
And if you want to find us, you can check us out at realestatesuccesspartner.com. That's realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, we're on all your major platforms. And if you want to see this one, and I think you should, visit us on YouTube at The Dubuc Team. That's also our website. If you're looking for an opportunity in this industry, you want to make a change, or you're an agent and you need to partner up with a team that's going to take care of you, come check us out. We would love to help you. Thanks again for coming. We will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.